daily dose of politics,
snark, and heavy metal music.
All rise, motherfucker.
For your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Hide the rum.
Performer hasn't been provided with a script. As a matter of fact, I have been permitted to choose my own words and discuss my own ideas regarding the choice that we face in the next few weeks. I have spent most of my life as a Democrat. I recently have seen fit to follow another course.
The defense policy of the United States is based on a simple premise. The United States does not start fights. We will never be an aggressor.
As for the peace that we would preserve, I wonder who among us would like to approach the wife or mother whose husband or son has died in South Vietnam and ask them if they think this is a peace that should be maintained indefinitely. There can be no real peace while one American is dying someplace in the world for the rest of us. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I must protect and preserve freedom here, or it will not be passed on to our children, and it will disappear everywhere in the world.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. Regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose.
We, the people. We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. This administration in Washington has betrayed the working men and women of this country. I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts. A recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose yours. And recovery is when President of the United States loses his.
Someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. The martyrs of history were not fools. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Hey everybody, welcome to the machine. I am Brandon and I am here all alone. You know, it's about school time, so Matt's busy with his son, getting everything ready, and well, I am here by myself. Not that that hasn't happened before. I'm perfectly fine with it. This is my show after all. But the problem is I've already had some technical difficulties here that are driving me completely crazy. Anyhow, there's a lot of things that are floating around in my mind. And one of the hot topics, actually, in the last week or so, I would say has to be the drugs, you know, addiction versus disease. And yes, I'm going to bring it up. I had plenty of people, of course, immediately go against me and say, no, it is a disease. I'm like, okay, so you can make your own disease now. I didn't know that. They're like, well, no, it changes the chemical composition of your brain. I'm like, well, yeah, because it's a fucking poisonous chemical that you're putting into your system. So we're going to probably hit on that a little bit here. No question. Yes, I've read the studies. Yes, there are a lot out there that these professors and stuff like that and doctors alike are saying, well, it is a disease. I'm like, well, it's not, because do you choose to have a disease? Does somebody choose to have Crohn's disease? Does somebody choose to have celiac disease or cancer? No, not really. They do not choose those diseases, okay? And you have people that go way out in left field with it, and be like, well, what about about STDs and stuff like that? I was like, no, they chose to put their pecker somewhere. They didn't choose to have the disease. This is just an age-old argument that I would like everybody to get in on with me and give me your thoughts on it, because I personally think it's a bunch of crap. And of course, right now I'm having, like I said, technical difficulties. I had to take all my equipment apart and take it with me to a car show. And apparently one of us kind of forgot how to put the wires back where they're supposed to be. So I'm kind of dealing with that. And we're having issues with a lot of other things here. I apologize for that, but no, let's get in on it, okay? And right off the bat, I'm just going to read you a couple of definitions that anybody can find in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. One being the definition of addiction: the quality or state of being addicted. Need for and use of habit-forming substances such as heroin, nicotine, or alcohol, characterized by tolerance and well-defined physiological symptoms upon withdrawal. Okay, that still doesn't make it, right? Let's read the definition of disease now. A condition of the living animal or plant body or one of its parts that impairs normal functioning and is typically manifested by distinguishing signs and symptoms. A harmful development, you see where I'm going with this, right? Let's read addiction one more time. The quality or state of being addicted. Compulsive need for use of a habit-forming substance such as heroin, nicotine, or alcohol, characterized by tolerance and well-defined physiological symptoms upon withdrawal. That doesn't sound like the definition of disease, does it? Now, I'm curious. Does it sound anything like that? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to turn on the chat room for Mixer and Periscope. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's the kind of day I've been having. So I might want to turn that on. Because I'm sure there's probably at least one person yelling at me on YouTube or something. There's usually more than one yelling at me by now. That's why I was like, wait a minute, why is it so quiet? And looked down and noticed it wasn't on. But, you know, I had this conversation the other night, and it really went way out in left field with this. And they're like, well, you know, what about the babies that are born to drug addicted parents? They have withdrawals. I'm like, that doesn't make it a disease. That makes it a piss poor choice by their family. I feel sorry for those kids because those kids don't deserve that. But, you know, what can you do when you have a parent who's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to shoot this poison into my system because it seems like a good time. And by the way, I'm pregnant, so I really don't care. I don't know. I don't get it. You know, and the one thing that kept coming up is they said, you know, well, the doctors say it's a disease. Well, they're saying that, and they're saying that for a very specific reason. And it's not the reason that you would think. Actually, the reason why they do that is so that health insurance will pick up the check when somebody needs help. It has nothing to do with it being an actual disease. Again, I'm still curious. I mean, how many of you chose cancer, or how many of you chose, you know, diabetes or anything like that? Who woke up one morning and said, you know, I think I'd love to have some diabetes today. Do you see where I'm going up with this? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? And while I'm doing my thing where people are missing most of the show because I'm not tagging them. I mean, I don't get the whole thing with drugs to begin with, but that's, you know, that's just me. Never have, never will, don't get it. What's the, you know, what's the draw? What exactly went through a person's mind to go, okay, I'm going to take this needle. I'm going to cook this weird substance in a spoon with a lighter. I'm going to suck it in said needle, and I'm going to shoot it up my arm. I don't find that attractive at all. I mean, none. Don't understand it. Sorry, I'm trying to read this at the same time I'm doing this. This is fun. Well, that's all who's getting tagged tonight. I'm done doing that because it's a waste of my time. Yes, listener Sean, I'm aware that Trump's speech is amazing right now, but unfortunately I have a radio show to run, so I can't listen to it. I'll post it tomorrow and then probably do a video on it. Right now, I am more concerned about drugs and drug addicts and the patterns that drug addicts have. You know, like being a recidivist asshole that goes to prison all the time, and then when they get out, they rob you blind. And I'm not saying all of them do. I know friends who have cleaned themselves up, and it's fantastic. Good for them. I'm glad that you finally caught on that this is a bad idea. But I find it increasingly hard to feel sorry for people who enable drug addicts. I mean, yeah, nicotine is a drug. Yeah, I'm using it, so I guess I can call myself a drug addict. But I'm not shooting up heroin. I'm not, doing meth or anything else like that. I mean, nothing says like a real fine party like smoking something that has battery acid anhydrous in it. Just saying. Sounds like a great fucking time. But let's talk about people that and I'm gonna call them enablers. I mean, let's say you had a person who is a heroin addict. They've been in and out of jail and prison for various things. They have no job. They're on parole. They're living at your place. You come home to find out they've stolen half your shit. Would you let that person stay in your house? I mean, let's back up a little bit. I mean, if a person stole from your family, would you let them stay in your fucking house? No, you would side with your family. Normal people would side with their family. They would not allow this to go on. And the sheer nature of these people is mind-boggling. Apparently Sean's too busy listening to Trump than listening to me, so he's not going to respond. There's other people on here right now listening, but they are not saying anything either. Thank you guys for being in on the conversation. But, I just don't understand. I don't understand people who actually, allow them at great length to steal from them, to hurt them, both emotionally and physically, to tear their family apart by choosing them over choosing a recidivist, unemployed jackass over their family. I do not understand how that works. But he loves me. Yep. Well, you made your bed, lie in it. This ain't ham radio. Yeah, whatever. But honestly, what are your thoughts on the whole situation? What are your thoughts on addiction versus disease? Do you think it's a disease? Do you think it's a just an addiction? Do you think it's choice? There's three categories there that need to be addressed. Do you think it's a choice? I mean, I think a person chooses to shoot that shit into their veins and then wonder why it changes the chemical makeup of their brain because it's cooking it. But, what would I know? But all these doctors. Yeah, did you ever read the publications from those doctors, actually? Just curious. Because a lot of them have actually come out and said that this is not the reason why they even said the same thing that I said. The reason why they classify it as a disease so that medical can pick it up and try and give them help. Although, addiction is addiction, disease is disease. They are two, in fact, different definitions. And it's becoming a bad epidemic. It really is. I don't know, Sean, you tell me. I don't even know how to respond to that one, dude. That's a good one. Yeah, I know. I got a squeaky chair. I'll buy a new one sooner or later. I honestly don't even have an answer for something like that. I really don't. But you know what I would say otherwise. I mean, you understand what I'm getting at. I just don't I don't know. I guess it's just me. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what the draw is to sticking a needle on my arm and shoving chemicals in it. Besides, nicotine or maybe the occasional shot of rum, of course, have you seen. But I will not be doing rum tonight because I've got other drugs in my system. He said he's got drugs in his system. Yeah, they're called aspirin and antibiotics because, you know, one of us has a major burn over the top of their foot. By the way, they offered me opiates at the ER and I declined. Yeah. Don't like the way they make me feel. Don't know how people can actually use anything like that to get high. Don't understand it one at all. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I know several of you out there. Nearly every single person's been affected by something like this. So I kind of want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? What do you think? Do you think I'm way off base when I say the person chose to be addicted? Do you think I'm wrong when I say it's not a disease? Because last I checked, you don't make disease on your own. You don't decide what disease you get. You know. All right. Oh, wait. What did that person say? I'm going to read that again. Well, that person believes it's it's an addiction brought on by their own free choice. I tend to agree with that. No, would you look at that? I mean, you can't look at that. The camera's up there, and I'm not going to take it down and point it at my screen. But oh, look at that! They're a former heroin addict, and they said it was the biggest mistake of their lives. They had to go through rehab, and they are clean and never will touch it again. Let me see. Hold on. I got to look at this a little closer. That's interesting. Yeah, they don't want it classified. They don't believe it should be classified as a disease, and I'll leave it at that. That's what that person said. I will not reiterate any more on what they said, but you know, that's the gist of it. Well, Sean, you know, we go on at 7 every week. You know this, so I will listen to Trump's speech probably tomorrow and take some parts out of it and put it back for either a video or for next week's show, because it just happened at the wrong time. And that's probably why nobody's listening to me right now. You know, my close friends here, I guess. Actually, there's quite a bit listening. There's like 4 people. There's more than that. I'm getting cussed at from all directions at this moment for talking about that. One of them says it is a disease, and I am wrong, and I'm never going to be right about this. I'm like, well, sure. Oh, wait, we got another one. It's a choice they chose to put. No, shit, I lost the page. The chat room. It's a choice they chose to put that stuff in their system. They are stupid for doing so. Okay, I don't use the word stupid. I really don't like the word stupid, so I'm not going to use that myself. I'm just reading what they said. And I do not. Oh, they misspelled a little bit there. And I do not feel sorry for them. And I don't feel sorry for the people who you just said earlier about enabling them. Okay. Well, at least I'm getting some feedback on this. I mean, that's really... Oh, excuse me. The pills they have me on make me very tired. That's really all. I mean, that's really all I want to get into, especially on that topic, because it's not a very popular topic, and well, I don't care if it's a very popular topic myself, but yeah. In fact, I'm going to, if I can find it. I just so happen to have a song about heroin addiction on here. All right, well, I am going to take a break and set up for the next one. Sean is going to be with me. People whose names I can't pronounce because they're actually gamers' names from Mixer and Periscope. Well, not Periscope. That's not Periscope. That's Mixer. They'll probably be back with me, and, well, yeah, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
This is Cody Perez from American Overdose, and you're listening to Brandon and Matt on the Machine Radio Show.
Tried rose, a heart that bleeds. Don't you wait on me. A composition that no one sees. Don't you wait on me. I stitched the past to make it last. Cut across all the seams. Confront reflections, affected affection. Masked away by our addiction. I'm screaming out my confessions. Bring on cold intentions. We tried so hard so many times. We cut the past, inhale the lies. This world is really through these blue eyes. The hate that came, it will not die. Don't blame me about inflicted wounds. We fall on deaf ears and living us out. Now all that's left, the dust has cleared. Our empty soul, break out last band. But the man I am did not break. To build a fire that hell did not fight. Forever uncapped. End of the rope at the end of my step. Deep from the roots, I'm tearing it out. We tell the world I'm forever absent. No more reflections on what could have been, or your distractions on what should have happened. I'm gripping tighter the throat of the end. So far, so long, goodbye, my friend. This world is hurting through these little lies. The hate that came, it will not
Hey lefties, liberals, and progressives. This is not a safe space. I repeat, this is not a safe space.
If you are one of those squishies who are easily offended, put on your safety pins, pussy hats, and leave this radio station. Or you can free yourself and get educated.
Well, hell yeah! I tried to twist him up, but he wouldn't have it. Hell no! This old boy's wow! We about to have to keep this one.
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show with your hosts, Brandon
And Matt.
Talking about a bunch of hobos with fingers in each other's pooper in a stranger's car with talk radio playing really loud. It's going to be a nice evening.
Okay, shit just got real weird. I think I'm gonna need a safe space.
What the? Are those friends of yours, Matt?
Oh, hell no.
Are you sure?
Oh, shut your dumpster and start the show already.
Well, alright, pissy pants, let's do everything you want to do.
Thank you very much, the FCC, for proving that free speech just isn't free.
And I am back, and you know, we talked at great length about the summit in Singapore with Kim Jong-un and President Trump, and little shit has actually made good with his promise. 55 of our war dead from the Korean War are home. They're home, people. Now we have to go through, obviously, the arduous task of analyzing the remains, so we can identify and allow the families to be notified that their brothers, their friends, their fathers, their husbands have returned. And, you know, this is a very touching thing, and I mean, I'm even tearing up just thinking about it right now. And you know it, Mike. You know what I love, baby. But you know, it does get to me, knowing that finally, after all of these years, that our brothers are coming home. And what saddens me, though, is I was watching the live feed when Vice President Pence was talking about it. Oh, excuse me. And he did a beautiful job. It was a beautiful speech. It was very heartfelt. You could tell that it was kind of taxing on him at times, but. I was reading the comment. I made the mistake of starting to read the comments on the video while this was going on, and I see, you know, all these people, you know, for the most part, people, you know, rest in peace, welcome home, brothers. You know, thank you, and just an outpouring of, you know, of emotion and support for this happening. And some people thanked the VP Pence and President Trump for getting this done. And then you had, obviously, the left-handed fucking idiots. Anything from them saying, shut the fuck up, to fuck you, Trump, fuck you, Pence. And all this stuff's like, really, at this point in time, politics should have been set aside. These are our war dead people. These people gave their lives for the freedoms that you hold so dear. But for the left, you know, that's for the freedoms that you want to take away, only if only if it somehow helps you out. And it's mind-boggling that people would do that. That they would take this time to do something like that. So, you know, this is pretty much for you guys.
You're an emotional cripple. Your soul is dog shit. Every single thing about you is ugly.
You people disgust me, okay? This is a monumentous occasion. 60 plus years in the making. And you don't even think about their families. You don't think about the men that died. You don't think about their families. You don't think about nothing. You only think about yourself. And the response that you fucking give is fuck the president or shut the fuck up or anything else like that, while the man is, giving the speech that has nothing to do with politics other than that they got this, that Kim Jong-un kept his promise and sent our boys home. There's something really fucking wrong with you people. I don't get it. I don't get it. What if that was your family? What if that was your loved one, thought lost forever, that came home? You wouldn't be so quick to shit on them, would you? I would hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, 65 years after the armistice, they finally come home, and you can't even celebrate that for more than 5 seconds without making it some sort of sick political attack on the president. I agree, Sean. I agree completely. Listener Sean says, I find that sort of close to the NAM era protesters who were yelling and spitting on returning GIs. I don't think I can forgive that. No, I can't forgive it either. I can't forgive it either. These were 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 22-year-old, kids that gave their lives, and you can't even have the common decency to thank them for what they did, and to you know what I'm saying. I don't want to fucking talk about it no more. People like you just fucking disgust me, period. I don't. Lovely chair. I don't even know what to say other than that. And I'm sure there's people that are saying I'm probably being a little bit too lenient on them, and I am. But that's because I'm not going to really go too far down into their rabbit hole and crap on everybody. But I'm going to say this out loud. I would like to thank President Trump. I'd like to thank Vice President Pence for bringing our boys home. May God watch over them. And at least this man here sitting in this chair loves every one of you. There's really not much more I can say about that. You forgot to dip it in jalapeno juice, Mike. And I'm going to go ahead and read that. Normally I don't read too much when people I mean I do, but I don't when there's a lot of insults being thrown around, but listener Mike says fuck them, and he asked for the barbed wire dildo. I elect that you add jalapeno juice to it too. Just saying. Yeah, listener Eric, I can agree with that too. He says it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Those are the ones who are looking for failures, so they have to ridicule any positive action. I've actually got a short story that I got to read for you. That after a break, I'm not gonna soil, the story, but. Yeah, and I'll see if I can. I'm gonna play this one. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break and set up for another one of the short stories about the left. Your guys are gonna love this too. So I'll be right back. If it's that time again to indulge yourself with some new ink, or maybe a body piercing, then Forever Yours Tattoo Studio is the place for you. With 27 years experience in tattoos and body piercing, artist Ricky Johnson has you covered, pun intended. Freehand or custom drawn art, maybe some permanent cosmetics, repair the half-done or faded work you got years ago. Or maybe you need a cover-up on that nasty scratcher ink you got in a dusty old basement with a sewing needle. Ricky will take care of you. Forever Yours is located at 209 West Main Cross Street in Taylorville. Stop on in or give them a call at 217-824-2INK. They are open Wednesday through Saturday, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. They are also open 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. every other Tuesday. Forever Yours is a health board certified business using modern sterilizing equipment. Tell them the two nutballs on the Machine Radio Show sent you. I am back, and apparently so is the train. Say hello to the train, everybody. Hello, train. Thank you for bringing the goods across the country. I just wish you wouldn't do it every time I'm on air. Thank you very much. All right. Well, yeah, can't make this shit up. There is a tape that CNN has just went crazy about. You want to know what it's about? Trump asked for a Diet Coke. The man literally asked, this is literally literally one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But they literally made this entire story out of Trump being caught on tape asking, and get this, the man said the word please. Oh, it's a shocker. This is journalism at its finest right here, people. You have a company who employs Jim Acosta that thought it would be great to make a story about Trump asking somebody to please get him a Diet Coke. You can't make this up. I don't. Please, if you don't mind, well, Mr. Larry. Oh, crap. And I despise this keyboard, okay? Since the other one died. This one is loud as all hell. And yes, listener Sean, I thought that was absolutely fantastic, seeing that picture of Acosta looking like a whip puppy when that woman flipped him off in the crowd. He was just totally wasted. And you know what? I listened to Sarah Sanders today, and she verbally bitch slapped him too, about President Trump calling the news basically against the enemy of the people. And he couldn't quite understand why that, she wouldn't fall into his trap. She wouldn't say, well, he's, the president's right about that. The president's wrong about that, or anything else. She said, I am the spokesman for the White House, and that's it. But when he started, when he started in on her, he like, well, you can't even say it. You can't even say it. And she's like, listen, you already rudely cut somebody off And you should be lucky that I'm even talking to you at all for cutting off one of your colleagues. He's like, well, all the people in this room, they're media and they work hard and they do their jobs and stuff like that. And the president calls them, the enemy of the American people. I was like, no, actually, he doesn't refer to all of you as the enemy of the American people. But however, he does definitely refer to you and CNN because of, stories like this. Trump drank a Diet Coke. Shit, I'm in the wrong fucking business. If that man can make as much money as he does, spreading that bullshit, I should get in on it. I mean, we are media, but we're the alternative media. We should thank people. Honestly, I thank you, Jim Acosta. I thank you, Rachel Maddow. I thank you, all those little weasels out there that instead of actually doing your job as a journalist and reflecting, the job of a journalist is technically to reflect its time. You guys aren't doing that anymore. When you found out, even before the election, when you found out that Trump was going to be the candidate, holy shit. You guys went out of your minds. You went completely off the rocker. Completely off the rocker. And then when he became president, it just got worse. Instead of reporting on anything, any sort of shred of credible news, you guys went with everything but. And is it a wonder? Is it a wonder that people don't trust you no more? Is it a wonder that people are turning off your programs? Is it? Really? Because I want to know. I mean, do you honestly blame them? With guys like you, like Jim Acosta, like I said, like Jim Acosta, Rachel Maddow, and especially the columnist from Yahoo, Matt Bai. He is like, I swear he got his journalism license from a fucking crackjack box. Is it any wonder people are turning on the news sources of the mainstream? Probably not. I mean, most now are getting their news from the new media. The new media being, hi, I'm the new media, yay. The objective of media is to reflect its time, not to be a mouthpiece for the leftist masters. So you're pissing people off. I mean, before the election, you smeared him. After the election, you doubled down. You tried to spin a story on the man asking for Diet Coke. And you wonder why nobody gives you any fucking credibility. None. And this chair is driving me absolutely insane, but I gotta put my foot up. I apologize. Trust me, you don't want me to put that thing on the screen. It's disgusting. Yeah. I mean, literally, that's all I got for that. But since I mentioned Jim Acosta and Sarah Sanders, I guess I can get into that. Sanders actually said the president is rightfully frustrated. 90% of the coverage of him is negative, despite the fact the economy is booming, ISIS is on the run, and American leadership is being reasserted around the world. She's not wrong. Not wrong at all. The real fireworks actually, obviously fired off when Acosta pressed Sanders to publicly state that the media is not the enemy of the people. He said, you read off a laundry list of your concerns about the press and things that you feel are misreported, but did not say the press is not the enemy of the people. I think it would be a good thing if you were to say right here at this briefing whether the press, the people gathered in this room right now doing their jobs every day, asking questions of officials like the ones you brought forward earlier, are not the enemy of the people. I think we deserve that. Acosta, you don't deserve a dick, okay? You don't deserve nothing. You're a fucking scumbag. You have been for years. So, eat a dick. And Sarah, she held her fucking ground, man. She held on. She read off a prepared list at the podium her own personal animus towards the press. And of course, the whole time he is literally trying to to cut the woman off. Uh-oh. What have I done? Play MC Mental. Hey, dude, what's up? What's going on? Probably not yet, man, but I like the way you think. What listener Sean say here? He said Levin had a great point about this. And the media has no reason to expect respect from the general public, calling his supporters hostile, whatever. I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Let's see. Oh, I got people talking to me in other rooms here. Okay, crap. I got way too many people talking to me. But dude, he said MC Mental. That's awesome. I know what I know what he's referring to. That's badass. Welcome aboard. But let's get back to it here, since I find it again. This is what Sarah Sanders had actually said to Jim Acosta after he completely became a douchebag, which is normal for him. He kept trying to assert himself in there. Said it's ironic, Jim, that not only you and the media attack the president for his rhetoric, when they frequently lower the level of conversation in this country, repeatedly, the media resorts to personal attacks without any content other than to incite anger. The media has attacked me personally on a number of occasions, including on your own network, said I should be harassed as a life sentence, that I should be choked. ICE officials are not welcome in their place of worship, and their personal information is shared on the internet. When I was hosted by the Correspondents Association, of which almost all of you are members of, you brought a comedian up to attack my appearance and call me a traitor to my own gender. In fact, as far as I know, I'm the first press secretary in U.S. history that is required to have Secret Service protection. The media continues to ratchet up the verbal assault against the president and everyone in his administration, and certainly we have a role to play, but the media has a role to play for the discourse in this country as well. And she is not wrong about that, not one bit. She's not. I'm sorry. And Acosta is like he's one of the worst of the worst. Everybody knows it. That's why CNN's ratings are in the fucking toilet. And that's where they should be. Oh, crap. What do I do? And I swear it sounds like my... Oh, bloody fuck. Okay, I figured out why it's so damn noisy in here. Besides the fact that things are constantly driving by. I think I managed to adjust the gate a little too far out. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that tonight. I will deal with that later. You know, it can do with it. And if I don't stop hitting the wrong screen here, got too much crap going on here. And Acosta, after the Trump rally, in which audience members continually taunted him and members of the press expressed his dismay at Sanders' answer. This is what he said: "Like, you did not say in the course of those remarks that you just made that the press is not the enemy of the people. Are we to take it that you just said we all get put through the ringer? We all get put in the meat grinder in this town, and you're no exception, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish it had not happened." Bullshit, because you were one of the ones pushing for stupid shit. But for the sake of this room, for the people that are in this room, the democracy of this country, surprise, we are a fucking republic. So, shut up, Acosta. Really, dude. All the people around the world are watching what you are saying, and the White House for the United States of America, the President of the United States, should not refer to us as the enemy of the people. His own daughter acknowledges that, and I'm all asking you to do, Sarah, is to acknowledge that right now, right here. Once again, she obviously said, basically without saying it, go fuck yourself. And she said, I appreciate your passion. I share it. I've addressed this question. I've addressed my personal feelings. I'm here to speak on behalf of the president. He's made his comments clear. And moments after the exchange, Acosta apparently went to Twitter. I walked out at the end of the briefing because I'm totally saddened by what just happened. Sarah Sanders repeatedly given a chance to say the press is not the enemy, and she wouldn't do it. It's shameful. No, actually, it's not. She held her ground. You are a spineless little fucking amoeba. And she bitch slapped you. And you deserve it. Yeah.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I don't know about you, but fuck that guy. Just gonna be honest with you. I think I got some more notes on this. Oh, yeah, it's just more of Acosta crying. That's all I wrote down. I you know what? I don't even want to. You know, it's funny to read it, but I don't want to read it. I think it's a waste of time to read anything else from that sniveling little bastard. What do you guys think? Think I should let that one go? But I think I'm going to end that comment. But listener Sean, him and I were talking earlier, and he had sent me a video, and I couldn't quit laughing. Sean, do you remember which one I'm talking about? Huh? I wish I had the audio to it, but unfortunately I do not. This guy, I swear to you guys, he looked the part to a T. The only thing that this man, he had a man bun, the hipster beard, was walking with a freaking he had a cup of Starbucks with him, and this gentleman asked him some questions. He's like, yeah, and he's like, well, Trump's a racist. Like, well, why is he racist? And the reporter's like, I'm a black man, so what has he done to hurt me? What has he done that's racist? And he's like, well, his white privilege. Like, what? And even the guy's like, what? The reporter's a black man. He's like, dude. Yeah, Sean, I got to see if I can get that to open. I might have to play it, unfortunately, over the speaker, so you may not be able to hear it. I'm going to try anyway, though. Thank you for sending it to me. Yeah, douche knots, man buns, whatever the hell they want to call those things nowadays. Okay.
9/11.
Holy shit! Hold on.
Can I give an example about how he's racist? I'm a black person. How's
Okay, I just pooped myself just a little bit because that was extremely loud. I'm pretty sure I blew an eardrum. But again, I apologize. I do not have just the audio, so I'm hoping you guys can hear this over the microphone once I start playing it again. All right, it's gonna go. Here we go.
He's a f***ing dude.
How so? Can you give me an example of how he's racist?
Did 9/11 like? Can I give an example about how he's racist?
I'm a black person. How has Donald Trump hurt me as a black person?
With his white privilege.
You know that the unemployment rate in the black community is the lowest it's ever been under the Trump administration?
Jesus f***ing Christ, dude. Really?
More black people have jobs now than under President Obama. You know, all the cities that black people suffer in the most are all Democratic cities.
I did not.
Yeah, Obama was president for 8 years, and yet Chicago never changed.
What are you trying to say now? That, like...
Saying, like, are you sure that Donald Trump is racist when there's a lot of statistics out there that might prove otherwise?
He's racist as... He's a f***ing...
Okay, did you guys hear that? Okay, did you guys hear all that? I gotta know. Oh, yeah, Sean must have heard it. He looked a little bit more than dizzy. The only thing missing out of the whole fucking picture was a Prius and a coexist sticker. I'm pretty sure he probably had his pussy hat in his pocket. But you know, I almost want to watch the video again just to see if he had a safety pin on. But you know that reporter had to be gagging from the smell of sawdust, BO, and frickin' patchouli oil. I mean, that douche knot on his head is nothing but a saddle horn, you know, for his boyfriend. But oh, he made a gay joke. Oh no, it's bad. Guess what? Don't care. Not PC. Not giving a shit. But yeah, just I will post that video to the radio show page. In fact, I'm while we're talking, I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see if I can get it up here. Not my dick, the video.
He's racist as... He's a...
Yep, that's it. Fuck me. Okay, that's loud. Alright. Copy. Go to Machine Radio Show page. And post said video. You know, this is how I picture a lot of the anti-Trumpers. I mean, the majority of them. This is how I picture them. I'm just gonna say that out loud. I mean, that's the guy cracks me up. Listener Eric, I have just posted it to the Machine Radio Show page. You can pick it up from there, if you don't mind, sir. Or I'll share it to you after the show, you know. It's all good. But, you know, again, looking at this guy. I'm just picturing the poor cameraman, you know, ducking his head from the smell and just... Oh, listener Sean, I understand that completely, and I agree with that, and I'm sorry. It sucks, but it's true. Sean has a very valid point, and I'm going to have to read it. He said, but still, that is partially representative of the soft skulls who can nullify your vote. In other words, if we don't get out and vote, if we don't get out and educate, especially educate these people, they're going to take over the country one day. This is the new generation that we're dealing with. If that doesn't terrify the shit out of you, I don't know what will. I mean, that's absolutely mortifying to me. Right up there with pictures of Hillary Clinton naked. I mean, that would terrify the living crap out of me. I mean, if you want to make it even scarier, we can put Hillary Clinton and Debbie Wasserman Schultz together. That's terrifying. Admit it, you're all visualizing it now. You're welcome. Oh man. Yeah, that guy's a special kind of human being. Now, if I can just find the right song for him, because I'm definitely going to go to break here, but I got to find the right song for him. And we'll be talking about one other worthless pile of grease, pile of crap. That would be Maxine Waters. I think that's going to be our next topic. As soon as I can find the right song for this man. Oh, where's it at? Oh, for crying out loud. You ever have one of them days when nothing just seems to be going right? Nope, that's not it. That's funny, but that's not it. Good. Unbelievable. I got all these songs in here. They're all supposed to be in order. And they're not. There it is. Okay, we are going to go to break.
I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
What you listening to?
The Machine Radio Show.
What did you say? I didn't stutter. I said
The Machine Radio Show.
You just blew my mind.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the show.
Am I just an asshole? Well, no, I've got arms and legs, I and everything.
And I am back, and now we have to talk about Maxine Waters. And remember, the next time I told you guys that if I was going to do anything like that, that I was going to play, there's another train. I was going to play another song for, specifically to do with Maxine Waters by our friends, the Cigar Rappers. These guys are funnier than hell. If you have not subscribed to their YouTube channel or checked them out, I will post it on the Machine Radio Show page so you can do so. It is absolutely worth it. They are hilarious. And they're true patriots. I love those guys. And I actually hope to work with them sooner or later. I really hope so. I mean, I'd like to have them on air with us. I'd like to do several things with them guys. Never know. Maybe we'll come up with a song. Pardon me. I am pasting that right now to the Machine Radio Show website. Why? Because I can. Because it's my show and I can do what I want. Yeah, as soon as it decides to do that. And somebody, what? Stay on. Yeah, I don't want to stay on. What is going on here? Work with me. Work with me now. Alrighty then. Alright, we're going to be talking about Maxine Waters. Seems that she's getting into some shit, which is nothing out of the ordinary for her. Maxine Waters hit with FEC complaint over mailer money. Do you mean that there's a Democrat that might be doing something wrong? Oh, shit. Democrat Maxine Waters, one of the most outspoken members of the anti-Trump resistance in Congress, is facing fresh questions about a long-standing controversy regarding how her campaign raises money and how those funds have flowed to her daughter. You heard that right. She has raised a considerable amount of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars with each election cycle. And some of her, some of her state's biggest politicians paying to be listed on her slate mailers. Traditionally mailing out about 200,000 of those to voters in the Los Angeles county, in the Los Angeles area. Since 2004, the campaign in turn reportedly has paid $750,000 to the Congresswoman's daughter, Karen Waters, or her public relations firm, Progressive Connections, for help producing them. $750,000. That's a lot of cheese, dude. A government watchdog in July filed the first two complaints with the Federal Election Commission asking for a full audit of the Citizens for Waters campaign, mostly because she keeps funneling money to her daughter. I would want to know where my money's going as well. I would want to know if there's some sort of, fuckery afoot. The first complaint actually alleges that Water broke federal campaign finance law and also names the California Democratic State Central Committee and Senator Kamala Harris, likely 2020 Democratic presidential contender. Oh, corruption just keeps following them. Let's see here. Where I lost my spot here. Damn it. The Conservative National Legal and Policy Center is still drafting a second, broader complaint focusing on the sources of money going to the Waters campaign and flowing to her daughter, and the accuracy of campaign finance reports. this is just a drop in the bucket from some of the things that people have wanted to complain about over the years from Maxine Waters. She was first elected in 1990. That tells you how long she has been in. I was still a kid when she got into Congress. That's just terrifying. She's been this is the same woman that's been constantly calling to impeach President Trump and urging people to confront cabinet officials in public. Doesn't matter where they are. They could be at a restaurant, they could be at a gas station, surround them, confront them, and attack them. She has said this on numerous occasions. No wonder nobody wants to deal with her. Well, let's see what else we got here on her. Well, they said she mastered a form of fundraising and slate mailers. California's top politicians as well as local office seekers have given far in excess of legal contribution limits to her campaign to be on her slate of endorsed candidates. The campaign then pays Karen Waters and other firms to produce print the mailer and sample ballots. The FEC approved the practice by Waters in 2004. She's been doing it longer than that. Maxine Waters found an old provision and turned it into a cottage industry, according to this gentleman, Anderson. However, the FEC complaint filed on July 25th that the state's California Democratic Party paid $35,000 to the Waters campaign in 2016 to include the endorsement of Harris' Senate candidacy on the mailer. The FEC complaint, which cited an October campaign finance report, contends a third party is not legally allowed to pay for the mailer of a candidate without reimbursement under the 2004 FEC advisory opinion. They are not wrong about that. I have actually talked about that before. It's been a little while, but you know, you're talking probably 5-6 years ago on this show that I did so. A separate report shows that Harris' campaign paid $30,000 to the Waters campaign earlier in 2016 for a primary slate mailer, but no subsequent payments. The Democratic State Central Committee of California's $35,000 contribution to Citizens for Waters violated campaign finance limits. That I'm going to have to look more into because I honestly really don't know much about it. Oh, somebody's talking. Hold on. Yes, Maxine is in fact one of those, and I will not. That one I can't read, brother. I'm sorry. I love it, but I can't read it. Yeah, you never know. I might get a wild hair at my ass and read it anyway. But you know, aside from her campaign contributions and obviously her funneling of money directly to her own child, the woman is an absolute walking nightmare. And the fact that she's been voted in since 1990 is kind of insane. This is why we need term limits. This is why term limits are a must. Because you get people like Maxine Waters that you can never get rid of. You know, they're literally like a herpy. But, you know, that being said, I'm kind of done talking about her. But I am going to play the song for you. You're going to like it. Like I said, the Cigar Rappers are amazing guys. I hope you guys are listening tonight. If you're not, you know, well, that's fine. But I hope you are. And here's your song on my radio again.
This is a bunch of scumbags. That's what they are. Hello? You are out of order. You are always out of order. You are out of order. Shut up.
Though she started down south, her charm was left behind. Every time she opens her mouth, proves she's lost her mind. Her palms been greased so often, is like a jar of Vaseline. For her kind of rotten, there is no vaccine.
arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea.
She won't live in South Central, 'cause she gets too uptight. She don't like the ghetto, so she moved where everybody's white. A $5 million mansion, where'd she get the cash to put down? She took affirmative action. Can't swim and now they're gonna drown in Maxine Waters. She's so full of lies. Maxine Waters.
No, it's classified and we can't tell you anything. All I can tell you is the FBI director has no credibility.
Some label her a traitor, 'cause her words are so obscene. She's a master race painter, makes a nightmare of the American dream. Her wallet's getting fatter, politics made her rich. Do black lives really matter to the queen of the poverty pimps? Maxine Waters, she can't reclaim her time.
Okay. Reclaiming my time.
Maxine Waters.
You didn't leave a message.
Reclaiming my
Spoke to the
time.
chief
Reclaiming my
oversight
time.
council.
Reclaiming my time. Thank you very much. And now you're back the balance of my time.
This liberal will be all about socializing. Would be about basically taking over and the government running all of your companies.
I'd like for you to repeat that.
So my final question to you, Congressman Engel.
No, you have not. Excuse me.
Talking to me.
Oh.
What you listening to?
The Machine Radio Show.
What did you say?
I didn't stutter. I said.
The Machine Radio Show.
You just blew my mind.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the show.
You're like an onion, an outer layer of cocksucker, and when you peel it away, there is 10 more layers of cocksucker underneath.
And I am back, if you're still here, that is. Yeah, that's the song Maxine Waters by the Cigar Rappers. I have to thank them once again for being awesome. And, yeah, hope to work with them guys real soon. But, let's see what we got. I know we got something else here. Do we have anything else? I'm talking to myself because I'm the only one here. Let's see here. Ah, shit. I closed out something I needed. I hate when that happens. Well, there is a pastor that is praising President Trump. Would you believe that? Pastor praises President Trump as pro-black at prison reform event. I'm just going to go ahead and read this. President Donald Trump was lauded by inner-city pastors, including one who said he may go down as the most pro-black president in recent history, during a White House roundtable on Wednesday that was focused on the efforts to reform the prison system. Trump told the group, which included pastors and bishops from across the country, that his administration has been making progress on efforts to make it easier for prisoners to re-enter society and find work. He said, the president said, when we say higher American, we mean all Americans. Among those gathered was Daryl Scott, a Black Ohio pastor who was an early supporter of Trump's campaign and has been working with the administration on urban and prison issues. Oh man, that's going to ruin a lot of liberals' lives. Because, you know, they always say he's so racist. This is probably the most proactive administration regarding urban America and the faith-based community in my lifetime, Scott told the group, adding, "This is probably going to be the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime." He compared Trump to his predecessor, Barack Obama, the nation's first African-American president, and said that this president actually wants to prove something to our country, our faith-based community, and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to, he added, saying of Obama, he got a pass. Oh no. I wonder how long before he's called Uncle Tom. Because you know that happens all the time, right? The White House has been focusing its criminal justice reform efforts on improving reentry, rehabilitation, and workforce training programs instead of sentencing reform, which I swore I just heard a gunshot. Which many advocates argue would make a bigger difference. Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and advisor, had been leading the effort, which has included lobbying Congress to pass a bill called the First Step Act. The House passed that bill in May. So we will remain wondering if this is going to pass and keep going. I'm certainly hoping so, because that's something that I had talked about once or twice. Well, again, several years ago, actually, about prison reform, about how, they don't work on how to make them productive members of society. They just want them to, serve their sentence and leave. And then they wonder why there's a high rate of recidivism. So let's see where this goes. Hopefully it's going to do well, but you know how that is. Anyhow, I think that might be it for me tonight, unless you guys want me to talk about something else. I mean, I'm sure, is there anything else on your minds? Listener Eric, listener Mike, listener Sean, Mr. Psycho in Mixer. Is there anything you guys want me to address before I go ahead and sign off for the night? I know there's a delay, so I'm waiting patiently. This is when I need the Jeopardy theme. Listener Eric, would you mind explaining to me that? Is that who I think it is? Is that what you're referring to? The FBI? Yes, no. All right. Well, I guess that's going to be it then. Because I'm not getting a response here. Wait a couple more seconds here. All right. Well, I am out of here for the night. I appreciate everybody for joining in and listening, and we'll see you next week.